How do we protect our children from bullies? We're going to tackle that subject in this video. Stick around. Bullying is a real issue, and this problem's not going to go away just because we raise more awareness about bullies. We have to deal with them the way we've always dealt with them. Unless your child is being homeschooled and living in a real quiet environment like that, they're going off to public schools and private schools, and they're dealing with a ton of different personalities, many of which don't have good home raising, some of which have no fathers. And we're basically feeding our kids to the wolves if we don't teach them how to deal with these guys. Let's get started. Our children need mental and physical preparation with regards to the fact that these people are inevitable. There's physical bullies and there's psychological bullies. We simply can't send them to school and say, have fun, have a great day. It's hard to have fun and it's hard to have a great day when you've got idiots targeting you just because they see you as a stepping stone or an opportunity to make them look big, to look cool. It breaks my heart watching the footage that I've watched where you've got young men and women who look like they didn't even want to get into a fight, getting forced into a fight with a kid that's coming up like a savage, always looking for trouble. I believe our children need to learn some form of combative resistance, whether it's on the wrestling team, whether it's boxing, whether it's jiu-jitsu. They need to be put in something so they can get a foundation, because school is rough. We don't deal with this stuff as much when we are adults, but I had to fight all the time in middle school. I was in 3 situations where if I would not have responded, I was getting my head kicked in. Nobody could save me. I got into martial arts at age 14, and all through high school, I never had a street fight. I never had anybody try to fight me. I was never in that situation. I think it was just the way I carried myself, and it's what people knew about me. People who train in martial arts are usually not looking for fights. They've left it all in the gym. They're learning some realities about fighting. They're winning and they're losing and they're being humbled. You may say, my son or daughter is not a fighter. They're not wired that way. Well, if they're not going to learn to fight, they have got to learn the mental defensive skills. They've got to learn verbal judo. They have got to learn how to avoid these situations on another level. It's good to be able to fight and to avoid issues and to use your head. But if you're not going to learn one, you got to double down on the next. We have to remember as well that training our children on how to deal with bullies, whether it's through some sort of defensive tactics system or whether it's through coaching and mentoring, they also learn how to better carry themselves. That is the greatest weapon against bullies, oftentimes, is the way they carry themselves. If they carry themselves properly, confidently, and they don't look like an easy meal, it does reduce their chances of being picked as a target. A lot of times kids get picked as a target because of the way they carry themselves. And a lot of times they are carrying themselves in a way that shows no confidence, such as walking around with their heads down, walking around looking fearful, or walking around talking nervously. We've got to teach our kids about learning when to be quiet, man. A lot of kids that talk a lot or talk nervously or speak up too much, a lot of times they become a target. So they've got to learn to carry themselves confidently and to manage their words. I know we don't want to teach our children to talk back to us, but we need to teach them to talk to us. A lot of times when we're grilling our children over things, we don't even give them a chance to speak. We just grill them and make them be quiet. No, I'm not saying that we allow them to talk back. And I'm talking about talking back in a disrespectful way. But we need to allow them to learn how to communicate in difficult circumstances. A lot of times our kids don't know how to verbally stand up to other people because they haven't been allowed to ever verbally stand up for themselves. When I'm getting on my children for something they've done, or I'm coming at them about something, they've got the right to speak back to me, but they have to be respectful. But they learn the ability to speak to somebody who's coming at them. Our children also need to know they're not going to get in trouble for standing up for themselves at school. I know a lot of children who are afraid to fight back, who are afraid to speak up because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. We need to let them know that they have full authority to protect themselves, whether it's verbally or physically. I would have these little coaching sessions with my youngest daughter, who was having a tough time in middle school there for a while, with people saying things to her. And I had to remind her the deep-seated reasons why people often do that. Oftentimes it's the insecure people that come after others. It's the hurt people who often hurt people. And once she started to understand the motives behind her classmates, it caused her to carry herself with more confidence, and things eventually got better for her. We also must teach our children when to escalate a situation. They need to know that they can get an adult involved. They need to know they can come to us or a teacher and say, I'm having a terrible situation with this person. Can you help? We also need to teach them about avoiding the wrong place at the wrong time, the wrong people at the wrong time. I know a young man who's very soft-spoken, very gentle, and he went to a high school where a lot of violence and a lot of bullying goes down. And I would worry about him from time to time, and I would ask him, was everything going okay? He would say, absolutely. I just kept to myself. I knew who to be around, who not to be around, and I didn't stick my nose in other people's business. If I saw something what looked to be going down, I just moved on. It was simple advice, but he learned how to keep to himself and avoid the wrong situations and people. If you knew this young man like I do, you'd wonder how anybody could be mean to him, but kids don't care nowadays. He didn't avoid problems because he was a nice kid. He avoided problems because he was intentional about avoiding them. Now, I did train this young man in varying martial arts over the years, so as calm and sweet-spirited as he is, he also knew how to carry himself. Our children need to learn to fight. Physically, they need to learn to fight with their mind. They need to learn to fight with their understanding, with their words, and with their ability to understand situational awareness. If we will get in their corner with them, bring this issue up, teach them about it, and be a support system for them, I do believe our children are at a much less chance of being a victim to the kind of bullying that we know exists today. There's all kinds of it, man. There's physical, psychological, cyber. We just need to teach them always about the reality and inevitability of it and how to deal with it. We can't ignore it. We can't ignore it. Take care.